Hello, Barna.
Hi.
So we will we will have some overview about accelerated dragon. This is one of the variations in the Sicilian defense, so e4, c5. Yeah, you know, other main openings which people play with black is e5. Yeah, it's kind of
Yes.
that's a symmetrical one. So it's also control the center with this again moving already in a pawn in the center. And with the Sicilian, the difference is we don't move the center pawns, but we move another one. And many times what happens, we exchange his center pawns for a non-center pawn, so we will have like an extra pawn in the center. So that's kind of like a small advantage can be. Also, it may open up the c5, which we can use for an attack.
Mm-hmm.
That's a strategy. Many times actually we may attack on the queen side here with like a6, b5.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just keep this as a base and let's look forward. So here, yeah, there are white has several options, but we will start with one of the main lines like knight f3. We play, actually, it's possible to play with knight c6 or with g6. This is more like, actually, let me change. This is like a hyper. It's called, if you do this way, that is called a hyper accelerated dragon because we even don't play knight c6 but immediately g6. The idea of this is if you play this move order, then you can avoid Rossolimo because after knight c6 many people play nowadays the bishop b5 line.
Yeah, I think this looks familiar.
And if they, this they can do, because there will be some other options which they can do, d4, and then they can capture with the queen. So that's the difference. If you start with knight c6, they cannot capture with the queen.
Mm.
Now they can capture with the queen, and this is, yeah, this will be a little different story. Usually we play like knight f6 here and then knight c6. But we looked at maybe later, but let's start with this one. So g6. Now d4 capture, and if the knight captures back. Okay, so now we can just continue as a normal way to develop. And we can also play bishop g7 here actually, and I would actually suggest that just continue the development of the bishop. Bishop g7. So this is called the dragon bishop. Have you ever played the dragon?
No.
No? It's, yeah, this is similar to the King's Indian defense or the Volga gambit or the Benoni defense. So this bishop can have some
Yeah.
good influence to the center. Sometimes white castle long then even can helpful for attacking the king. It's I like to actually fianchetto the bishop.
Yeah, I mean, this looks okay for me.
Yeah, attacking the knight. So now knight c3 is the main move here to continue the development. Knight c3, knight c6. Okay. Okay, now it's attacked. The knight. So we need to do something about that. He can move the knight to different squares like knight b3 or knight e2. Those are the most common, or can protect it also with bishop e3.
He can take the knight.
He can also take, but usually that's not so good for white because we take back with the pawn. And actually this is helping us to play even for, because many times we want to play for d5 in the Sicilian to attack the center, the center pawn, and this makes maybe easier in the future. Plus also actually we get this file for the rook.
Yeah, the rook on b5.
Yeah. So in this one, in some other, like with this e6, like the Taimanov, as you said, in those systems, they capture here many times. So that's even on the highest level. But in this accelerated or hyper accelerated dragon, usually they will not take it. But they move away. Okay, so let's see if he moves. Actually, one other idea, moving the knight instead of bishop e3, it opens up for the queen, so it has one more control of the d5, so it makes it much harder for black to play d5.
Yeah.
Because when this is here, then it's after knight f6 example immediately threatening to play d5, but this is a way to stop that, or at least make it much harder. Okay, so knight b3. So it's also the fight for this square is one of the key in this hyper-excited dragon, because one other thing which white may do is this one, actually playing c4. This is called the Maroczy bind. So again, the idea is to fighting for this square and try to make that impossible for black. We will look that maybe in later time. Okay, so let's go and see what's going on here. So knight to f6, we just continue the development. Knight to f6, bishop e2. Yeah, that's normally a good square for the bishop, because if it's, here this would be just under attack, and this would be probably blocking again the control of the d5 square. So bishop e2, castle. One of the good things why I like to play this with black, because we can castle quickly. So we have a good king position very early. We don't need to worry about attacks on our king in the center. We may need to worry about attacks on here, because sometimes they will play like this kind of wide moves like h4, h5 quickly, or they try to maybe exchange our bishops with their bishop. But we will have good counterplay always. Okay. So here, castling. Okay, castling. And what we will look here, actually, we kind of transposing here to a classical dragon with d6. Okay, there are some other ways here to play. Some people play like a5, or some even strange ways they play with they try to keep it here and play only, or b6, bishop b7 and only play. But I think it's good to play just d6 too. This is very natural, we are opening up for the bishop to develop. Okay, and here, okay, let's see, white has again several options. He needs to develop this bishop. He can put it to e3 or g5, or sometimes they first make some repositioning this rook, and then this bishop back to f1 to have control here, or play link f4. So there are already several options. We start with bishop g5. Okay, bishop g5.
Yeah, this looks really standard.
Yeah, so it's try to attack creating some threats, some pressure. Bishop g5. Stevenson Morph, thank you for the follow. So bishop g5, bishop e6. Okay, we are continue the fight for the d5 square plus developing the bishop. Also, we have some pressure on here. We may later think about actually this knight maybe tries to jump to c4, one or other way. So or the bishop exchanged sometimes. So this is a good square for the bishop. It's an active square. Okay, white played here king h1. So what do you think was the intention for this move?
What's the intention?
So why usually people play like king h1?
They want to open up the f5 maybe?
Yeah.
f4, yeah.
Yeah. So he wants to play f4. Yeah, that's the reason. Okay. How would you continue with black, the development?
I mean, maybe I would develop my queen somewhere, or I would just put my knight on e5.
So yeah, development. I think it's a good idea to develop. So where would you develop the remote? What pieces are remaining to be developed? What pieces we should still?
The queen. The queen and maybe the two rook. Like rook c8 maybe? Something like that.
Rook c8, yeah. So
Rook c8, knight e5 or something like that.
okay, and what would you do with the other rook? What's your idea?
Now that's a better question. I have no idea.
What options we have?
We can put it on e8 and then maybe we can wait and then later push the f1 and open up the f5, something like that.
Yeah. And what would you do with the pawns, or how would you continue? So let's try to maybe tell me a plan, maybe like next maybe 5 moves.
Oh, I think we can do two things actually. We can start pushing the h1 or we can start pushing the a pawn. I mean, depends where we actually wanna attack. I think we can attack both the queen and the king side right now.
How?
Makes sense actually. We can start with h6 or we can start with, I think, a5. 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 I think a4. Then maybe rook b8 and then b5, I think.
Okay, I think you get some good ideas. So let's see what's going on here in this line. So actually rook c8. Yeah, rook c8. So yeah, we will see where to put the queen or this rook, but yeah, we are ready also to actually one other important idea here in this one. Sometimes to, I don't know if you looked any like exchange sacrifices on the Sicilians.
Oh no.
Not that? Okay, wow. Okay, so maybe once we can look some example, but that's one of the typical ideas to maybe sacrifice the exchange on c3 to creating double pawn. That's that destroys really the pawn structure.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
For
now we
plus
have an extra attack. Yeah.
and if you can get the e4 pawn also, that's most of the time that's more than enough.
Oh yeah.
So like something, if you like rook takes c3, b takes c3, knight e4, if you can do that, that's a very good compensation. Maybe if you just count the points, that's maybe a little bit better for white, like 3 plus 1 versus 5, but because the very strong center plus his weak pawns, the c3 pawn can be probably also a target later. Usually this is a very nice compensation.
Yeah, actually like.
So that may be an idea. If you move the knight and then threatening to take. One motive which you can consider in the future. Okay, let's see what happens if we have f4. What if he just continues this plan also like it was f4? Okay, and actually here we just continue to build up an attack on the queen side. Okay, so like we play a6. Yeah, actually if he plays something like f5, we are happy to move back, and then this will be a knight square for a knight. Usually that's why we are not so worried about playing if they play f5. Okay, so here queen e1. Let's say the queen e1. So yeah, he would may go like queen h4 and try to build his attack here, but it's still, we just go on, continue our advance on the queen side. Yeah, this is really a typical Sicilian, so we are happy on the king side. Usually we are just defending, we are happy to keep it safe, and then actually also like our bishops are looking to that other side, so we'd like to open up the things there to use the fire of the, so this half open c5 and the Sicilian and the bishops and in the pawns. Like f5, okay, bishop goes back to d7, queen h4, knight e5, knight d4. Yeah, this is a typical move. Actually, if he can, many times he goes back, because after our knight on e5 we leave the d4 square uncontrolled, because this knight on b3 is not that good. So when everything defends, developed, then many times they want to come back to the game. Yeah, hello dear viewers. Yeah, we have a coaching session with Barna, but if you have any questions or ideas, please write in the comment. Okay, so knight e4, and if we have one more line, one more move from this variation, rook c5. Wow, what a move!
c5. I have no idea what this move does.
Yeah, it looks like a strange move, but the idea actually to open up the 8th rank. So he wants to play actually queen a8.
Wow.
To attack this one. So maybe in the future, like going for this sacrifice, which remember we said.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's a. Yeah. So this is I think some. Plus also, it makes him much harder to play this move, knight d5.
Yeah.
So actually we are fighting also against that one. Yeah, because I think we would take, and then f6 to stop this bishop and queen. Pressure, and then we would win the pawn. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. And I would like to show you maybe another idea. So this was like the classical dragon main line. Okay, if I play with white, can you? I don't know if you remember some of those moves. Can you play them?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we control the center. Yeah, g6 to open up for the bishop. Yeah, please play with black.
Yeah. But it's white move. But
d4. I played d4. It's not showing up for you.
no, now it's showing.
So now black to move.
I think it's just take back, fianchetto.
Okay.
Right. And then the move was
Continue the development. Yeah, so we are attacking also this knight. He moves away.
If she takes, then we take with the b pawn. Right?
Yeah, we take with the b pawn to have control in the center. Okay. How do we continue the development? Yeah, just
Knight
go.
f6.
Perfect. Okay.
Then
The,
we can castle.
yeah. The good about this opening, actually, we moved already like how many moves we played? Like 10 moves, and already our king is safe. And
All of the moves make sense actually.
or 7 moves, but we are already, even if you don't remember anything more about this opening, you can already have a fine. You just try to follow the opening principles to try to control the center, develop your pieces, and then when you are there, then you try to find the plan which side of the board to attack. And here you can remember many times most of the time we want to attack in the center with d4 or d7 d5 if you can play. If you cannot, then with a6 b5 going forward. Like here, just open up.
This move makes sense. We need to open up the bishop.
Yeah.
Then develop, so the next two move also makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, and then develop the rook.
Yeah. Now we can go c8, for example. Yeah.
And it's important. This is not really dangerous. Then we will go back, so we can just continue. And yeah, it's important. So now we don't move the queen, because it's actually the queen has not two good squares like go out, because it's I mean, maybe b6 would be one square, but it's just actually it's fine here. Because we are kind of defending on the king side with the queen and the rook, and then we are building up an attack on the queen side. If you remember, here came a little bit a strange move.
Rook c5.
Yeah, rook c5.
And then queen a8.
Okay. So and what's the maybe the plan or some ideas?
Threatening to take the c pawn, or sacrificing the rook for the knight.
Okay, yeah. That will be, I think, just nice. Okay, let's see another line. Okay, maybe what if he plays maybe bishop to e3? Maybe we can take a look on. Okay. Yeah, I just wrote here a new one. Yeah, please play with the black pieces. Okay, just to. Okay, please. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I get the move slower for some reason.
I played knight f3. Did you get or not yet?
Yeah. Knight f3.
Okay. Yeah. Please play with black.
Yeah, but white to move.
After knight f3, black to move. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now. Okay, so let's see what happens if playing this way.
Knight f6 still.
Yeah. Okay, so that's important. Most of the time we just continue natural moves. Okay, so we will see white has several options, like he can also take here. Now actually there's this option like taking here and then playing e5. So the idea is to now knight d5 is a power sacrifice. I think that's a possibility, but I think we will just go back here and then develop the other way the knight later. So here it makes some sense to play with white to capture, because he can have a tempo move. But this is finally playable. We will look that later. But again, a classical way for him to play is just to play bishop e2.
I think castle.
Castle, yeah, that's nice. And now actually we are ready to play d5. You remember we said d5 is a thing which after castling, but you usually want to do that only after castling. Okay, that's good to remember. And here, if he wants to avoid that, then yeah, actually let's take a look what's happening here, because I remember it was like no, sorry, not I. So d5 is can be challenging. What do you think? What may happen here?
Maybe he can take. He cannot push the pawn, right? I think that doesn't make sense. Probably he can take. We take back with the knight.
Yeah, or actually they may think also playing something like this.
Yeah.
So this is why usually we want to castle first. That's why we don't want to play. Let me just load this one. This is let me look. Yeah, just in the right move order. I want to this. So we castle. Okay.
Yeah.
Castle, and now d5 is a real threat. So they will play knight b3 now to stop that. Okay. Actually, this if you here there are some move transpositions. Maybe you can remember the bishop was on g5 in the other line.
Yes.
Castling and then bishop g5. So these can be transposed to each other. So also they can first play bishop e3 or first castle. So it's some we will be remembering. But we can with black we can just play normal, same stuff, d6. Okay, we just go to the. Yeah, again here is possible like this a5. So there are some other stuff, but I would just suggest you to so just to play the classical way to follow normal opening principles. Okay, d6, castle, he also castling.
Yeah. I think we still develop the bishop to e6.
Yeah, bishop e6, that just makes perfect sense. Bishop to e6. Then let's see. Again, actually we are now again sitting in d5. Or at least it starts to be dangerous. But what can white do? What do you think? If he can do anything?
Well,
can he stop some way?
I don't think so. Maybe d2.
Actually, he plays f4. The idea is to ready to play maybe f5 to force the bishop away.
Yeah.
So if like d5, then he would probably be able to play f5, and then the d5 would be hanging, because the bishop would not support it anymore. Okay, let's see what to do here. Yeah, this position was played by some strong players, like even Kramnik played with black.
Wow.
But of course, yeah, white has that attack on the king side. But how to continue the development by black? What do you think? So if we just again following principles.
Rook c8, I think.
Yeah.
The idea is still work.
Yeah.
If he pushes the pawn, then bishop d7, and then we can still put the knight on e5.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So rook c8. Yeah, this is what actually happened. Queen e1 actually a little similar like previously. The queen may develop to h4. Yeah, because sometimes white players play very aggressive. Let's quickly take a look on that one to have a feeling of how things may develop. Like if he plays like something like f5.
Bishop d7 worse.
Yeah, if f5, yeah, then bishop to d7. Okay, and g4.
This looks tricky.
Actually, I played once similar game against Peter Leko
Wow.
when we were like both like 14 years old. So like 30 years ago, like I think it was 1994. Wow, nearly 13 years ago. Next year we will start in the World Junior Championship in Szeged. That was a time when it was in Hungary, the World Junior Championship.
Wow.
Yeah, and I lost like maybe like 30 moves. So he had attack on my king, and I did not play it properly. So how to play now with black? It's to play knight e5.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was my candidate. And if he pushes, then maybe knight e8.
Yeah, if it's pushing it, then yeah, it's a good question what to do now.
I think knight e8 makes sense.
Yeah, but sometimes there are some very aggressive moves too, like rook takes c3 example.
Oh.
If I think that may work actually here. Because if it takes, then remember something which we talked about.
Oh yes, yes.
If he can get, but the question is what if he captures here? Because we cannot just simply capture back. I think we need to take his bishop. Takes our bishop, we take back. Oh yeah, okay, and this is really nice. We won a pawn actually in this business, and we still. Yeah, this rook looks a little bit like it can be trapped.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's.
maybe selects something like that.
Ah yeah, okay, yeah. So probably it will not trap, and if it's not trapped, then it's no chance. I think that this is also saying okay, this is just very good for black. I think, yeah, this should be super good for black. Okay, so this is something which what my old coach said me because I was playing also this opening when I was a kid actually. So I was like 15 years, like 30 years ago. This was one of my main openings. And then he said, like in the classical dragons, this is called the classical dragon, and white castle is short actually, so not castling long with this very double-edged attacks on both sides. But castle short, this is called classical dragon. It's black always need to go for activity, because if what white wants, he wants to stop black's activity and then just attack on the king's side. So it's just kind of like with a boa, like a big snake slowly just stop you do anything and kill you. So that's what white normally wants to do in the classical dragon. So you should always looking for activity, and this is one of these ideas, like for example this sacrifice, the exchange sacrifice. So also white needs to be aware of this stuff, so he cannot go without thinking. Just too sometimes if he plays too aggressive, then it will be just too much, and black will just make this sacrifice and have a great position. Okay, so let's go back to the main. So queen e1, and look, we just do again the same thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely the same.
Go. Yeah, this is another idea you can think about, but I think not now. Like example, here maybe not so good because he takes and plays f5, and you know this is kind of trapped.
Yeah.
It's true. But example, if he, after a6, if he plays like rook d1 here, now we can do it because if takes, it's a tempo.
Yeah.
So we have time to move back before he stops this or blocks it. And this will be okay for black then. So this is like little nuance. So when can we play knight g4, when we cannot play knight g4. So a6, king h1. How would you continue? Just if remember the last variation.
I mean, we can go
Yeah,
b5,
yeah, b5. Yeah, let's just go with b5. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, b5. Rook d1. Okay, so this is another idea of king, queen e1 to get the rook here to make some.
Now we can make the knight move, I think.
Yeah, if we think logically, that looks reasonable. And what's the difference? Well, just here, because we said if he comes here, then we place this one. Yeah.
Yes.
So actually, yeah, it's yeah. So this makes, I think, sense. But they did not do that. Because, you know, there are situations when more than one move is good. We can look if there is something with knight g4, which was... no, look! Oh, again, another trick. Wow. But this is, you know, the good questions are very important, like what you do. So, because now the difference is that the king is here, or the king was there already, the other line also? No. Now, so because if you play knight g4, actually he plays bishop g1. So he is not forced to take it.
Oh, yeah.
And then he will move maybe the queen to, and then the knight needs to go back.
Wow.
Okay, so everything comes together like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what happened. But actually, it makes much sense to just follow our original idea. To, you know, we play usually b5 to play b4. Actually, and force this knight away, and then this pawn many times will be like a target, plus the e4 pawn can be also a target. Yeah, actually this is a little tricky thing will happen here. So knight a4, so we can take this one, and we should take, I think. But, because white has some counterplay here, bishop b6 attacking, because when we play b4, actually this became also unprotected. So he will be able to win back some material. Okay, we move the queen. Yeah, it's actually we need to move two choice, but we want to move here to avoid like these forks.
Yes.
Okay. Now he takes that one, and yeah, and you know this is a double attack actually.
This looks bad actually.
Yeah, it's a double attack, but actually this is not a big problem because so we will make a sacrifice. We sacrifice the exchange, but we need to save the knight. That's clear. We need to save the knight, and or actually maybe we can start this way also. We will not go too deep in this one, but just to show it. So if it goes back, takes.
Yeah, rook a8 also makes sense, I think.
Yeah, and just want to show you a few more moves which was played here, but black has compensation. So this kind of things, if you can remember, like if you get a pawn and the piece for the rook in the Sicilian, and if the pawn is the e4 pawn, that means usually good enough. But actually here, interesting, we did not get a full, but we also lost the 8, so it's actually we only have a piece. So not an extra pawn, but this but we give up the A pawn for the center pawn, so that's something like, but good, because if you would give up the D pawn and then we would keep that would be not so good. But here, you know, this, and we have also the pair of bishops, so that's the other stuff. So if we get the pair of bishops and some, you know, targets here. Let's see how to play actually, because this many times happens in the dragon. You give up the exchange in different ways. So we need to be familiar with how to play this and how to evaluate it correctly, when it's okay, when it's not. So bishop d7. Just if you're developing. Ooh, this is a strange move. Okay, he wants to actually go here. Maybe attack this one. Because if we can provocate something like g3, then this diagonal can be a, you know, bishop c6 and attacking again. Okay, wow, f5. This knight e4. Queen g3. Attack now. I think actually I would probably play bishop e5 here.
Yeah, that's my move also.
Okay, they played another move. They played knight h5, queen f3, queen a8. This looks also a little bit slow. The idea is to, because this knight was pinned. Now the knight can move if he wants to move.
Yes.
Yeah, but like this. So I was thinking maybe this move was interesting. So being kind of aggressive. And if the knight moves, then bishop c6 to protect and increase our attack on the diagonal. Yeah. So this is, yeah, still an interesting position, and I think black has compensation. Okay. So if maybe quickly just replay it again for c5. So nicely developing the minor pieces, castling. Yeah, d6 to open up for the bishop. No, this bishop e6, of course, this is possible when the knight goes away. So normally, if the knight gives on d4, we don't want to give the bishop for the knight.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. If you don't play like d5, then we develop the bishop usually then on d7. And then we just, yeah, this is one more move to, which usually we do. So get the rook to this nice file. And then start the queenside expansion. Yeah, and here you need to start to calculate, yeah, because it starts to be sharp too. But which is good to remember, so this sacrifice may be fine. So we sacrifice the exchange, but we got the pair of bishops plus a strong center, plus white has some weaknesses. Okay, let's see, maybe one more line.
Okay.
What if they go maybe? Yeah, just one line. If happens this d5 and they are allowing us to play d5, just let me just show you that one. Because some people allows it, not probably on the lower the rating the players, they more allowing this one, this d5 move. So it's probably on where you are now, I think people will allow that several times. Okay, let's just go here. Yeah, please play with black, okay, just to experience the. So knight takes d4. How do you continue the development?
Fianchetto. I did.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for the follow. Yeah, developing that one. Okay. Okay, good.
Just so. Now opening up the bishop.
Actually, no. Here, if they did not play knight b3, so we can play d5.
Yeah.
Then we would like, because even in the classical dragon, usually they play d6 and then they want to play d5 in the next move. So now it makes no sense to lose a move if you can play immediately d5. So d5, yeah, d5. Okay. Of course, now it has two options. You can take on d5 first and then on c6. We just look this one now. Knight takes, b takes c6, e5. Okay, this is a line which some people play time to time, and this can be sometimes dangerous, so we need to know how to play against this one. It's also possible to play here just to back the knight e7 or d7.
Maybe e4 is also possible.
Yeah, actually I would suggest that one. That one, because other way white can play like f4 and that's fine. Those lines are also fine, but I think it's harder to play, so I would suggest this one, knight e4. I think you take it, we take back. Yeah, if queen d4 to protect, then we play queen d5, develop plus attacking this pawn, because this pawn is under attack now.
Yeah.
Okay, taking rook f to d1. Yeah, we cannot take it because this is hanging. Plus we don't want to give up the file, so we don't take there. Yeah, so we play bishop e6. And bishop d4 needs to protect. And now c5, I think c5 is a strong move. So we are still fighting for this one. If he captures, then we take on e5. And then attacking this one. Bishop c3. Actually, if he captures, we're not yet capturing, but first we play this move. Yeah, this would be even more dangerous. If he captures on e7, we take on c2, and those are also hanging. Many things are hanging.
Bishop is hanging,
Yeah, many things are hanging. So bishop c3. Yeah, and then here f5. So we are protecting. If he captures, we capture back with the bishop actually. Having the pressure threatening to take and create this one. If he captures, then we capture back. Yeah, and then we come with the king. It's we have the isolated pawn, but it's not an open fight, so we cannot really use it. And we will go up on the king side with the pawns. Yeah, it should be probably close to equal position. So f5, if he plays like b3, then king f7. Yeah, so it should be close to an equal position.
Yeah, it's close to draw, I think.
But of course, it need to play on, because this still there are ways to make mistakes for both sides. So I would suggest not go for like a draw, but just play on. Actually, why I suggest to play out every game, because then that way you can learn how to play endgames, even if it's an equal. But if you exchange all the bishops, maybe then you can practice rook endgames. If you exchange all the rooks, then you can practice bishop endgames. So that's the only way, because sometimes if people say, oh, this is draw, so I just make a draw. But then when you will practice, if one of the opponents will say, oh, he don't want to play draw, then you go to the end game, and if you never played out the games but you just always accepted the draw, then you will need to practice when you will be under big pressure. So it's better if you voluntarily go to the end game and practice instead of when the opponent forces you to the end game.
True.
Okay, so I think this would be good for today.
Okay, thank you so
So
much.
yeah, let's try to play maybe some games in this one if you want to. You
Okay.
can try out the X-rated dragon, and next time maybe we can continue with some other system to look if, or you can also tell me next time which systems white plays actually against this, so we can maybe go into that one which we not yet covered.
Okay. That's cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too. Have a
Okay.
nice day.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Okay, so also dear viewers, thank you very much for watching. Yeah, if you have any questions or ideas, please send a comment. And yeah, if you are watching this on YouTube, please write a comment and write in the comment which line you would like to be as the next line to cover. Okay, bye bye.